I drove 9 hours to pick up the blank slate for my dream fishing rig. I tore off all the fencing and furniture, the old carpet and floor, and we put brand new decking and flooring down. We then added a brand new fence and brand new furniture to this boat, and then rigged out the back to be the ultimate fishing rig to chase some giant fish. This episode, we wrap up the entire build and unveil the finished product to you. Today, we're doing a bunch of accessories right now. Mounting these docking lights somewhere up here. Got to mount the horn, the underglow under the deck and the seats. My dad's finishing up mounting some trim in the back, and then we're going to install the biminies. But today there's a lot of little things. Got to install the speakers, a lot of wiring, so let's get rolling. The first step of the underglow lighting is attaching this LED strip track. It has a 3M double-sided tape on the back of it that I stuck up to the frame, and then I went through and pre-drilled some holes and ran some stainless screws, 2 screws in each track, just to ensure that they would never come down. Then it's pretty easy. You just run the LED lighting through the track all the way around to secure it. Well, just finished the underglow lighting on the back of this pontoon stuff wiring harness. They have 2 accessory, positive and negative, you can plug into. Just got it plugged in, and let's see if we can light it up for the first time. Just don't know what switch it is. I had a 50-50 shot wired to the horn, I guess. Gotta switch this real quick. Got it switched to the other accessory harness, and we got underglow. That was kind of a chore, but pretty seamless. Now I'm gonna run speaker wires and cut some holes for some speakers. Well, here I am cutting into brand new furniture again. I made a cardboard template, and then I would just measure left to right and find center of the seat base, and I had center marked on the cardboard template. And it ended up working out super seamless and didn't hurt my brain too much trying to figure out where I should place these speakers. My buddy Tony, he's the painter here at the body shop. He is going to paint the whole trailer black. So I'm going to set you up on a time lapse and watch the master go to work. Thanks, Tony. Once again, huge shout out to Tony. He came in clutch when he offered to paint the trailer. As you can tell, 99% of a paint job comes from prep work, sanding, getting it all cleaned and ready so there will be not as much dirt in the paint. Tony absolutely crushed it. We used a heavy-duty black 2-in-1 paint and primer to prolong the life of this trailer, bringing it from a 1995 tandem axle trailer to modern day looking sharp as ever. While Tony was painting the trailer, my dad and I were wrapping up wiring and finishing mounting all of the furniture on the tracker. I can't get over how well this trailer turned out. We completely renovated it. 4 new tires and wheels. We cut off the old hitch mechanism and welded on a brand new one. We then went and bought some 20-foot 2x4s, treated them with a waterproof sealant, and then took some indoor-outdoor marine carpet, wrapped them and stapled them with stainless steel staples, and ran some carriage through bolts. We have plans to run some plastic bunk slides over the top of these carriage bolts that have a countersunk stainless screw that will cover the head of these carriage bolts. We ran a brand new wiring harness through the trailer with LED waterproof taillights and side marker lights. My dad then took some rubberized tread and added them to the steps of the trailer. Added the safety chain and a brand new winch, and this trailer was good as new. We jumped back to the tracker to install the electronic bimini. Here we have it dry fit, just mounted to the fence with clamps to try and optimize where we want this fence placed. The goal here was trying to get shade over the back deck and our fishing chairs. Spoiler alert, this is not where the Bimini ends up staying after a maiden voyage. We found that it was too far back and impeded the fishing space and use of the deck. But here we are drilling holes into this perfect fence and making the first major mistake of the build. The remedy was pretty easy, just unbolt it and slide it back and rebolt it down. This Bimini is super heavy duty and very easy to install. We got it from pontoonstuff.com if you want to pick one up for yourself. Our initial goal was to build this entire tracker boat build in 7 days. Right now marks the end of day 5, and here's what we've done. So today we got a lot of little things done and a couple big things. So first off, we got the underglow lighting all done. We got the nav lights and the docking lights done. We mounted the power Bimini and we rough mounted the manual Bimini. So there's a little bit of fabrication work that has to go into this. Basically what we have here is an 8.5 by 10 foot Bimini. We're gonna want it about 8 feet 2 inches, 8 feet 3 inches, so it will barely slide over the top of the 8 foot Bimini in the back. That way we will have zero seam. It'll be a custom Bimini setup when it's done. So yeah, these docking lights, I ran through the chair bases and down through the bottom. And then another cool thing we did was we added a door stop back here to keep that gate open, which is super nice when I'm loading the trailer, you know, or unloading off the trailer. I'll be able to see straight down the pipe, or when I'm picking somebody up from the dock, or when we have our trolling motor mounted right there. A few other things we did today is I mounted 4 of these Deckmate speakers from Pontoon Stuff on each one of these returns, or these angled seat bases. So we got 4 of those ran. My dad finished mounting all the furniture, bolted it down. I mounted the horn up under that seat. Coming back, my dad mounted this little windshield. I was tinkering with the stereo. Yeah, this is the horn. We got it to work. We got all these accessories to work. We got our tilt trim work. We got our ignition switch to work. We mounted the helm chair and a few things that we were really looking for. And like we said, we're pretty rookie when it comes to these boat builds, but we wanted to be able to stand up when you're driving, and we want to be able to turn. So this is a sliding seat from Pontoon Stuff. So you could slide it forward like 1 notch and be able to turn around, be able to recline, you know, just lounge. So we spent way too long finding the optimal spot, but I think we did. We added a brace here. We turned the gate so it opens outward now, which is a huge upgrade. And this whole back wall was custom because pontoonstuff.com, they have a sun deck, you know? So we ordered a 20-foot railing or fence system with a sun deck, but we basically foregone. Go ahead, you got it. We took out the sun deck and made our custom back wall, which I think it turned out really, really well. We then loaded the boat up on the recently renovated trailer for the first time and took it out of the shop and headed home. So, like I've talked throughout this video, this is going to be a hybrid live well and battery storage box. We got our 2 Epoch batteries, 36 volt and a 12 volt hybrid. So we're just mounting this here in the center for both batteries to sit, and then we're going to leave these ends exposed for wiring to come up through and then to bolt this to the deck. We're going to cut another piece of this wood to go right here for the Epic battery chargers. Right here, be mounted sideways. You may remember I had my buddy Evan back in episode 2 build this live well frame. It's 12 inches deep by 48 inches wide. Then my brother Jed helped me trim it out. We used a material called Dibond. It's plastic sandwiching aluminum on each side. It's super sturdy and lightweight, and it looks really good with this black finish. We trimmed it with aluminum angle, and then my brother and brother-in-law Cody were able to take a laser and cut the top of this live well out. We did a bump board with bump stops on each side and a little backsplash return with a couple of lids. I think it turned out pretty dang sweet, and we saved a bunch of money doing it ourselves. We lifted it into place and then measured left to right on the deck several times to get it perfectly square. My dad then cut some leftover trim that we had to shim up the front of the live well so it matched the back, since the back of the live well was sitting on the trim as well. Once I was confident in the placement of the live well, I drilled some holes and we ran some stainless deck bolts down through with some oversized washers down below the deck. Now I'm installing the Epic batteries for the final time. These things will power the whole entire boat build. We have this dual purpose 12-volt battery that will run all of the fish finders, accessories, and starter of the boat. Then on the right side of the 12-volt, we have a 36-volt lithium battery that will run our Garmin trolling motor for days on end. Some unique features about these batteries are they have these built-in feet that you can mount them wherever you want so they don't slide around. No need for any straps either. They also Bluetooth to your phone so you can always check how much time is left to get a full charge or how much time you have left on the battery life. So hooking up this power for the last time. When you do this, you want your motor power, your engine power, to be the closest to the terminal, to the bottom. You kind of go off gauge of wire. So we're probably going to go engine, charger, and accessory.
Yeah, that looks like it lines up better. Yeah, that's correct.
Went down. Here we are rigging up our downrigger posts. This was something that we took a lot of time to think out. I could not find a downrigger post tall enough or the dimensions I wanted, so I had them built. These are made out of aluminum and powder coated. Here we are running a couple of deck bolts down through the floor, and down below the floor we have an oversized aluminum plate to act as a giant washer to distribute pressure from these downrigger posts. So we ran a couple of bolts through before we drilled with a hole saw down through both the deck and the oversized aluminum plate that our wires will be running down through. Before we mounted the downrigger post, we ran some baling wire up through the post and down through the deck so we can use it to pull our fish finder wires and power to our downriggers and fish finders as well. We added our Canon Mag 10 downriggers onto the top of these posts with swivel bases. This way we can move them any direction we want or change the angle of our gear. This was super easy. We had the bolt pattern drilled into the top of these downrigger posts and we just tightened them down with stainless hardware. I think that just about does it for today. We were able to get the live well table installed, batteries installed, battery chargers installed, mounted down exactly how we wanted it. We were able to get the downriggers installed, the downrigger posts bolted in. We drilled a hole up through the bottom of the downrigger post because we are going to be running the electrical for the downriggers through the posts, and we're gonna have ram mounts with fish finders like you guys know. So we got both downriggers installed. So all that's really left is to run some wiring from the post to the battery on each side for power for the downriggers and fish finders. And then order a trolling motor. Oh, and install the live well and plummet. We are so close to being completely finished with this thing. I can't believe we're this close to the end. We will see you guys back here tomorrow. Day 7 of the build started out with some decent weather, so I decided I was going to try sanding these tunes. I took 180 grit sandpaper to the whole exterior of the pontoons to knock down any corrosion and get a good base, but I'm not necessarily looking for a mere finish. This was a super satisfying transformation that was happening right before my eyes. Although it's super satisfying, it was very time consuming, and I immediately realized that I was not going to be able to get this whole project done today or maybe even in 2 days. It was going to be quite the undertaking all by itself. Once I went over it with 180, I went over the whole thing again with some 320 grit as well. Today I wanted to get this whole side completely sanded down. My dad actually went on vacation for a week, and I have a goal to have a lot of stuff done before he gets back. I want to have the downriggers wired, the fish finders wired, the quick disconnect for the trolling motor up front wired. I want to have the live well plumbed, and I want to have both pontoons completely sanded down and finished. So today is such a nice day without any bad weather. I decided instead of sanding some pontoons today, I'm going to be trying to get some electrical done. So I got the main kill switch for the battery, still have to mount that. And then I still got to mount the quick disconnect flush mount for the battery chargers. First things first, here I am running 4 wires to each downrigger post, 2 positives and 2 negatives. These will power the downriggers and the fish finders on each side of the boat. Well, that only took about 45 minutes to run all those wires. We got the fish finder wires and the downriggers wired. So I think what I'm gonna hop on next is I'm gonna run down to the part store in town and see if I can find another bus bar, so I can have a bus bar with all the positives, and I already have a bus bar for all the negatives that can be in here. And then I'm gonna watch one video to refresh my memory on how to do that main kill switch. So that is the plan as of right now, and then we'll see where we're at once that's all done. I may try and plumb and install the live well. So I just got that battery charger installed, and now I had to plug it in for the first time. And these are special lithium battery chargers, so it's not just your Amazon special. Here we go. All wired in now with the flush mount. Now I gotta blow all this out and clean it up. Then get to plumbing the live well. Well, I have a little bit of a dilemma right now. Not really a dilemma, but a choice that I can't really figure out what's right or wrong. I don't really know that there is a wrong option, but let me show you what I'm talking about. So I have a plan to splice the live well pump with this T. And then I got a spigot and a spray down hose. I've never really seen anybody do this. And maybe that's for a reason. Maybe the live well pump's not strong enough, but the bilge pumps I've had in the past pump some pretty good water. And I got a smaller diameter hose to spray stuff off, so I'm sure it will work, is what I'm trying to say. But I want to mount this to the wall. And I'm not sure if I want to put it on the side over here, or the front, or the back. The front would make sense because it's out of the walkway, because we're going to have our swim ladder right down here. So it's out of the way. But this front is like the main panel I take off if I ever have to fix anything. And having this hose plumbed in is going to kind of eliminate that. So I'm leaning towards doing it off the back. It'll kind of be out of sight. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it off the back. So I'm going to drill a hole first, I think. This diameter. Get this put in. Screw this in off the back side. That will hold itself in. I'll splice the hose once I know how much I need. Then I'll drill a hole and run it across. But I think that's the plan as of right now. So here's a quick look at what I did. I had to heat these up to get them to slide all the way up. I don't know if that's a big no-no or not, but I did it and it worked. Got the fill back there. This is the fill hose. And then that goes to my spigot right there. And then this is the drain. I'm not going to drill the drain hole yet because I'm uncertain how I want to do that. Well, we are checking items off the list. I just got the whole box put back together, minus the drain. I'm waiting for my dad on that before I cut a 2-inch hole. He'll be back in a day or two, but I just installed these fish fighter tackle tenders and a Fulby rod holder. And this is Fish Fighter's SRS system, so sliding rail system. So I could slide these anywhere I want, or I could take them completely off. Let's see if I can do that with one hand. But these things are legit. We had them on our last boat and we couldn't have lived without them. So when I'm fishing for kokanee, I'll have my snap weights here, my bait in here, and you can hold a rod up vertically and long lines. So most of the time when I'm fishing for kokanee or trout, I'm running a couple long lines, and that's basically just lines near the surface where you don't have to use a downrigger. So that's kind of the whole reason we decided to just run 2 downriggers on the boat versus 4, was we only found ourselves using 2 most of the time on our last boat. So got the 2 downriggers wired, got the long line set up, got the box put back together. These are also Fish Fighter these rod holders. I'm gonna mount these, get those all mounted to the floor. This is our battery charger that charges both Epic batteries. What else? Got the live well all plumbed, as you guys saw. Got the drain, the fill tube, and then I caulked around the seams. But yeah, that's where we got another fish fighter rod holder right there. My brother just showed up with some decals that we're putting on the tracker. Check them out. Is cutting this railing off of the StarCraft trailer that we swapped over here. This railing does not fit for this boat, so we are going to cut it and put a couple end caps on it, and that will finish up the trailer. Next, we have to plumb a drain for the live well. I was waiting for my dad's opinion. He just got back from his trip, so now we can think through that little problem together. Then we need to mount those fish fighter seat bases, the fish fighter rod holders, the fish fighter live scope pole, and then a couple flush table mounts and the fish finder screens. I think that will just about do the entire build. Walk me through what we got going on here.
All right, so this is going to be our live well fill, and we can actually shut that if we want, which will pressurize this line coming from the bilge, this black line, to where we can turn that hose on to use to clean our deck or the fish. Then to open that, we just open that up like that. But we just installed this overflow, so we can leave the pump on, and once the live well fills with water and gets to this point, it'll start draining out this drain.
So it can stay circulating.
So it can stay circulating.
Or if you forget.
Yeah, if you forget. But it'll come out this drain, tie in down here, and go out the bottom. And so...
So why'd we put that right there?
Well, we put that lower than the fill, obviously, so that it'll never overfill. But we put that there so that we can just let the pump run with our fish in there, circulate water. And then when we go to drain it, we're going to put a ball valve underneath that'll hook onto this, that we can just drain the whole live well out. Or if we shut the pump off, it'll drain all the way out. But either way, it's a pretty cool little system. So now we can close this all back up, and we're done in here, I think, forever.
So we had to build these brackets, these aluminum brackets, to adapt the swivel base to the fish fighter base to the frame of the pontoon stuff seat. And then we mounted these in a way so they can still spin 360 degrees. Barely clearing the bimini for maximum deck space, but then being able to still sit there if you had to. Here I am mocking up my fish finder screen, trying to see where I will have clearance from the downrigger plate above. Marked a couple holes, and then I actually put the screen on it and used a clamp to clamp it down to make sure it would fit. I then pre-drilled some holes and ran some stainless steel screws through the ram mount base into the post. And then I reattached the ram mount and put my fish finder screen on there. And I had to sit down and check it out one last time. And man, I think this is going to be super sweet and convenient to just be able to sit in the seat and relax and be able to run your downrigger and see your fish finder. The other pontoon was killing my dad, so he grabbed the sander and started sanding on this. Once again, this is 180 grit sandpaper, and he's starting to knock down all the corrosion on this side as well. He quickly realized how time consuming it was, and we decided our time would be spent getting this thing ready to fish rather than making it look pretty. So we attached the swim ladder, the rod holders, and then we assembled the fish fighter live scope pull. This thing is super heavy duty and has a quick release puck that makes it really nice. So if it's stored in a parking lot or something overnight, I can pull my transducer off, which is pretty expensive, and don't have to worry about it. We're just trying to find the optimal position for this thing, where it's going to be out of the way, but where it's going to be able to be used most efficiently as well. We mounted this live scope pole back towards the rear of the boat since we use it mostly for trolling. Live scope and trolling is a game changer. Let me know if you guys want me to do a video on my trolling setup with my Garmin live scope. Here it is, the missing piece of the puzzle. I'm gonna take the knife and open this bad boy. I'll give you all 3 guesses what it is. Oh, we're in my tiny little office here. Oh.
Release the Kraken, huh?
Release the Kraken. That thing is giant.
That is huge. Yeah, that is for real. My heavens.
That's a unit right there. Today we are going to be installing the trolling motor, and the first step of that process is in this little box. This is some big dog wiring. This is actually 4-gauge wire, and the trolling motor calls for that when stretching the distance I am stretching from the very far stern of the boat all the way up to the bow. It's at 20 feet length, so I got 25 feet of wire of 4-gauge. Let's get this stuff ran. So I had never actually worked with wire this large in gauge, but the principle still applies. 12-volt wiring is pretty simple. You just need one positive and one ground most of the time. I did not have a crimping tool that would work for this large a gauge. Luckily, the auto part store down in town lent me theirs to use. So I crimped these down and then put heat shrink over the top of them. And here I am running 25 feet of 4-gauge cable from the battery up into the front. This is the front seat that I mounted the horn in, as you can tell. And I'm going to run the wires up through there and have a quick disconnect plug up there at the front. So if I ever want to pull my trolling motor off for the winter, I just disconnect the quick disconnect plate, unplug it there, and it's ready to roll. But I just drilled a hole through the base of the seat. Here is some really thick plastic. It's super rigid. So I attached this quick disconnect there, and I'm wiring all these wires together, and I was on a bit of a time crunch. I had to return this crimp tool back to the part store within half an hour of using it, or else I'd be charged like $100. So I'm flying here, not really getting the best footage, but you get the gist. Just heat shrinking everything, and I have a 60 amp fuse that I'm going to mount in this seat as well. So if it ever trips, I can just pop the lid of the seat open and reset it. Also, some of you might be wondering why I did not just place the battery up here in this seat. That's for a couple reasons. 1, it wouldn't really fit too well, and 2, I'd rather have the storage up here, and that's why I built the live well box and battery box was specifically for those batteries, and they could charge in tandem with each other with that flush mount. Super easy, clean, and simple, and it's all located in the back. Now it's time to mount the trolling motor quick disconnect plate. I trusted the template that came with the motor. I drilled the holes and ran the bolts down through. Although this was a 2-man job, I needed my wife's help to have her hold a wrench on the bottom while I was running the screws up through the top. So kind of the goal for today was to surprise my dad. He thinks he's getting home from work, and he is helping me install the trolling motor and the wiring. And we had plans earlier this week to hit the lake today, but other stuff came up. So the boat got pushed back a day or two. But I've been working my butt off today running the wires and mounting the quick disconnect and mounting the trolling motor with the help of my wife. But we just got the quick disconnect bracket finished up. We have it installed on the boat. Now it's the moment of truth. I told my wife, I was like, I hope this fits on there. She's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just used the template, the paper template that came with it. I didn't really mock it up too well, so we're gonna see. So I'm gonna go set you guys up there, then I'm gonna come back and help my wife carry the motor over, and if all goes well, this is gonna fit perfect, and then we can get some fishing rods and lures in the boat So when my dad gets home from work in about an hour, I'm gonna have the boat hooked up to the truck and we're gonna take her for her maiden voyage reincarnated.
Also knock over your camera.
Okay, hold tight.
Do you want to flip it on its side really quick and see?
Oh yeah, it is. There's 2 holes on that side, not this side. Okay.
Give your people an update.
Well, I had a 50-50 shot of screwing it up, and I screwed it up.
Do you realize what you've done? I'm sorry.
We should be able just to switch this.
I don't see why you couldn't.
Take number 2. Just got the bracket swapped around. Let's go. Bingo.
Zank.
We are the champions. Got a inline 60 amp fuse that'll protect my battery, and that will protect the trolling motor if anything ever were to cause some sort of malfunction. Now, this quick disconnect, plug, bingo, power, sweet. Now to the fish finders, and then we'll get the remote, try and pair everything. We got about 5 little things to do before he gets here. Okay, stay right there, I'm gonna bring it in. We got all 3 lines crossed. Oh no. Alright guys, the maiden voyage couldn't have gone any better. We caught a couple fish. We've been out here for maybe an hour. It's still pretty cool. The water temp's barely 40 degrees. It's probably 40 degrees air temp right now. We loaded the boat, everything went perfect. We were testing out some of the lights for the first time. But hope you guys enjoyed it. And now, before we give you guys the ultimate final reveal, this is your little sneak peek, but couldn't be more happy right now.
Feel about right there.
Let's just...
Wow, that's like Moz and Paws, guys. Just me. Yeah, just like that, huh?
Table. That's French for table.
Yeah, that's pretty dang sturdy too.
Hold the coat, couple APs.
Yeah. Play a little cards or eat some lunch. When we're not fishing, of course.
Nicely done. On to the next.
Okay.
Well, this wouldn't be the ultimate fishing rig / party barge without a barbecue. Our good friends at Camp Chef sent us their new aluminum Mountaineer series. I'm super stoked for this. Super lightweight, very compact. We're gonna try and test it out on the Fish Fighter rail system and see how it mocks up. Before we get to the final reveal of the tracker, I wanted to remind you guys that we are doing an elk hunt giveaway over at gethushin.com, a $25,000 value prize package. All you have to do is shop our website. Every $1 you spend is 1 automatic entry to win, and you win so many cool things from all of our partners. Backpack, gun, optics, OnX Elite. You get Hush swag. The list goes on and on and on. But make sure you guys go get entered now. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Without any further ado, check it out. This is the boat in all of her glory. And like any project, it'll never be completely finished, but I'm gonna give you a rundown of where we're at and we're going fishing in the morning, 4 a.m., chasing huge lake trout. So starting on the exterior, we did a quick sand to knock down a bunch of the corrosion on the tunes. We honestly have not given it a final polish yet. We're just running out of time and we want to go fishing. We got the underglow. We redid the whole trailer like you guys saw. So we got new bunks, new carpet. We did new tires and wheels, but they're just Walmart special. They'll get the job done for now. Eventually we're gonna get some nice aluminum or chrome wheels with some better tires and wheel wells, but that's down the road. Coming around the front, we got our navigation lights, we got our front headlights, and we got our trolling motor. This is the Garmin Force Kraken. This thing is the bee's knees. I'm so excited to get out for the main voyage tomorrow and test it out. I've done a lot of research and I love all my other Garmin stuff, so I'm very excited for this. We mounted the spare tire, new winch, new tread on the steps, and we'll give you a quick look at the starboard side of the boat. So over here on the starboard side, as you can tell, we did not sand the entire side. We got to about here, and then we had a little bit of free time where we decided, heck, it's time to go fishing. We got our Fish Fighter live scope mount here. It pivots out. We got the Garmin LVS 62 for those of you that care. We got our Fish Fighter boxes. We fabricated a swivel base for our pontoon stuff seats. Coming around the back, we got an extendable ladder. We have the Mercury 115 horse. We have the custom live well box that we built and my brother Jed helped out a ton. Got Fish Fighter rod holders on each side for our rods and our net. Now it's time to climb up on this bad boy. But before we do, we added a third tune. So this thing is now a tri-tune. It will handle so much better and we'll get way better performance out of it. We're up on the boat and this is where we've spent so much time designing and just really tweaking everything on top of the deck here. There's a couple things left that we have to do, like we're gonna have to fabricate this gate a little bit to where it will close with the trolling motor there. But for right now, we have everything staged. I got a quick disconnect plug for the trolling motor. I got a table mount. I'd love to show you the table installed, but we can't deploy the trolling motor with it on the trailer to show you. We've got a pile of stuff inside these benches. We have life jackets, downrigger weights, snacks, all sorts of stuff throughout all the storage up front. And we really want to try and optimize this and get it very organized. But for now, it's kind of all just tossed in there for the fishing trip in the morning. Behind the lean back is where we keep the table and the table post. Sliding to the back of the boat, this is the command center. This is our helm that we customized. We put a brand new steering box, steering system in here, new throttle, new shift and throttle cables. We did a whole customization of a radio, a tachometer, depth finder, our instrument clusters, all of our switches, USB ports, the whole 9 yards. We got a glove box for paperwork. On the side here is where we keep our Camp Chef barbecue for when we want to barbecue some food out on the water. Sliding back, this is the whole reason we built this entire boat, is for this space back here right now. And this is the first time you guys have seen it in its entirety. So let's run through it. We have this gate here to lock in the kids and it opens outward. We have Fish Fighter tackle storage under each seat. And this is perfect. We have all of our lake trout stuff in one and all of our kokanee gear in the other. We are dialed. We have no fishing accessories on the front of the boat. It's all consolidated and organized back here at the back of the boat. On this side, this is kind of where I fish from. I got my Garmin live scope and I got my downrigger and I have my long line and my rods on my side. Then this is kind of where my dad fishes from. He's got his downrigger, he's got his side imaging that's actually connected up to the Garmin trolling motor, so he can actually see ahead of us what's coming versus where I'm seeing what's more behind us and kind of pinpointing and sniping some fish. He's got his rods and tackle here as well. Now back here is the brains and the whole operating center of the entire system. My brother spent a lot of time designing and cutting out the top of this live well box that we had custom made. This is a part where we're not quite done with. We want to have some sort of insert here for small tackle and kind of a junk drawer. But then this is where we have our Epic batteries. We have our lithium chargers. And then we have our main on-off power switch. On this side of the live well box, we have a flush mounted battery charger. So you don't have to climb in the boat to charge the batteries. And then on this side, we have our live well. But what's unique about this live well is we have a ball valve that we can turn, and we have a water spigot on the back to where we can have a spray down hose to spray down our fillet table or the deck, or kids if they have sticky hands or anything like that. And then we can turn that ball valve and it will fill the live well. And inside this live well, like you guys saw, we have an overflow drain, so it'll fill just below the spigot and then start draining so it can just circulate nonstop. And then we have a ball valve at the bottom of this drain, so when we're done fishing for the day, we can just open that and empty the entire live well. On the front of the live well, we have the Fish Fighter sliding rail system with their tackle tenders. So that's the walk around and the tour of the entire boat, but this video is not finished. We will see you guys in the morning on the water. Okay guys, we're switching things up a little bit and we are fishing for kokanee and rainbow trout now. So we've been fishing for about half an hour with the whole family. We went and got the girls and we've landed 3 rainbows, just lost one at the boat, but hopefully we can get a kokanee on here shortly. Okay. There you go. Feels like a good one. We got another hookup, guys, not long after.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah, I'll get it double. There's worse than it. What do you think, babe?
Yeah.
You're laying them down. You and Hog.
You need a pliers.
Good job, girls.
Flaming Gorge double.
Yeah, I like when you're just catching.
Right here, right here.
Hold on.
Flaming Gorge triple. Here, baby, hold
You want me to hold it?
Yeah.
It's okay. You have to wait.
Yeah.
Good job.
Uncle Ed will get it.
Or Dad's gonna pick it up. Keep reeling. Keep reeling. All right. Good job.
Okay, good job. Go back to the pad.
You show it.
Flaming Gorge triple.
I got it.
Reel, 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 reel. Reel fast until you feel it, and then slow down. Okay.
Keep going, Kay. Keep going.
When we go fishing in Mississippi, Dad doesn't really get to fish.
You can do fish. Airborne. Airborne?
That one's oh yeah, that's pretty colored.
Another one. Nice one. This is exactly why we built this boat. For a fish just like that is exactly why we built this boat. I hope you guys enjoyed this boat build. I know me and my family are sure gonna enjoy this boat. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you out on the water.